Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to talk all about oxalates. Obviously, fat loss is why you're here, and health and wellness, longevity, all of those things are important. And when we're trying so hard to be super careful with our diet and lifestyle, and we're not understanding the possibilities of how food affects us, I think it's important to understand it on a different level. So today we're going to talk again about a low oxalate diet, oxalates, and what the heck are they? Is it something that is affecting you? So I'm Connie Rutledge. I'm a functional nutritionist. I'm a fat loss specialist, and I work with menopausal women just like you. I have a menopausal body. I have recently lost about 15 pounds in the past 2 years. Not recently, but I've kept it off. Like you, I struggled with all kinds of weirdness, as my hormones started to dwindle and diminish. I suffered with issues with my digestion. Weight started piling on, and I'm like, what the hell? I was shocked because I'm a nutritionist. I know what to do. So obviously, my channel, we talk all about fasting, intermittent fasting, high protein, low carb dieting. We haven't really gone into the keto world or the carnivore world, but there's a lot of really impactful food plans and diet regimens that are super helpful. Okay, we're going into oxalate. So what is an oxalate? Oxalates are naturally occurring substances mostly found in plants. Our body does make them, but they're mostly found in plants. And it's basically the plant's defense mechanism. So they're something that I call an anti-nutrient. They bind to minerals like calcium and magnesium and iron. And they can definitely prevent the absorption of those, key minerals in our bodies. My daughter and I were talking about oxalates and how they affect us and how we so unintentionally unknowingly kind of maybe are taught, oh, eat this and this is a health food. Well, a lot of times, if you're sensitive to oxalates, and we'll get there, I promise, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. So, all right, now we know that oxalates are found in plant-based foods. Most people don't need to worry about oxalate-containing foods. They are in whole foods, and if you are healthy, and you don't have a problem, with fat loss or autoimmune conditions or energy or pain, then you don't need to worry about an oxalate. And I guess my point is, how do you know if you are able to handle oxalates? Well, if you have had a lot of antibiotic use, if you have deficiencies in B vitamins, if you don't have a healthy enough gut to absorb fats properly, if you have leaky gut, if you don't have the right bacteria in your digestive tract, and then there's also the genetic mutations. Well, how are you going to know? And a lot of times the common symptoms of oxalate poisoning, I'll call it, or toxicity, is pain. So pain anywhere in the body. But if you have urinary pain or joint pain, pain in your muscles, eye pain, head pain, intestinal pain, then you might, if you've tried everything else, then you might look at oxalate toxicity. If you have fibromyalgia, so that joint pain that you just are, that always inflamed. If you have fatigue, insomnia, burning feet, if your feet feel like they're always kind of inflamed and puffy, then you might consider kind of looking at oxalates. If you have digestive issues like gas and bloating. This is one that's really interesting, frequent urination. If you have to pee every 10 minutes, then you might want to look at oxalates. If your urine is cloudy, that's interesting, huh? Or you've got crystals in your urine. Kidney stones are another issue, could be caused by oxalates. Headaches, depression, anxiety, brain fog, yeast overgrowth, and rashes and hives. Those are all common symptoms that could be caused by too many oxalates in the diet. Oxalates can affect every system of the body. Oxalates can bind with calcium to form crystals, razor-sharp, knife-like edges. Because these crystals are like tiny shards of jagged glass, they're extremely irritating and painful to tissues where they cause or increase inflammation. Oxalates can affect every system in the body. It's really interesting if you don't know anything about oxalates and you suffer from pain, it might be interesting to kind of look at what foods contain oxalates. I'm going to include a link in the description box to a handout that you can print out and learn a little bit more. I'm just teeing up an oxalate list so that you might kind of become aware of foods that contain oxalates. There are foods listed low oxalates, medium oxalates, and high oxalate foods, and then extremely high oxalate foods, and you'll be surprised. So if you feel that maybe you want to look into removing oxalates from your diet, then you want to avoid beets. And I'm gonna read the list. Beets, field greens, kale, russet potatoes, sweet potatoes, celery, green beans, rhubarb, spinach, and Swiss chard. So those are the vegetables that you want to avoid. You want to avoid blackberries, figs, guava, plantains, raspberries, tangelo, gooseberries, kiwi, pomegranate, and starfruit. And those aren't things that, any of us eat much of anyway, but it's good for you to know this. Nuts and seeds are problematic, and so many of the keto diet foods have a lot of nuts. That's what a lot of us kind of go to for that crunch and good quality oils and fats and proteins. Almonds, huge with oxalates. Peanuts and sunflower seeds. So I just made a cookie recipe, a keto cookie with almond flour and sesame seeds, and it had coconut oil and an egg, which isn't a big deal, but massive oxalate dump. I wasn't affected negatively, but you know what? Maybe I did have to pee more often. Chocolate's another one. And then when we look at the high oxalate grains are amaranth, buckwheat, quinoa. Soybeans are huge with high oxalates, and most beans and most grains contain oxalates. So what are the foods you want to eat more of? Okay, on the vegetable side, we want to eat bell peppers, red bell peppers, broccoli, cauliflower, mustard greens are a preferred green, radishes, winter squashes like acorn, butternut, spaghetti squash. Turnips are a good starch if you're avoiding potatoes. Bok choy, cabbage, cucumbers, lettuce, onions and garlic, and zucchini, all really good and low oxalate vegetables. The medium oxalate veggies are asparagus, Brussels sprouts, endive, tomato, carrots, collard greens, and fennel. So those things you don't need to be too concerned. And just know that eating, even if you just reduce your oxalate load, 10%, you might notice less inflammation and less pain. The fruits that we want to look at, low oxalate fruits: apples, blueberries, cranberries, avocado, cherries, melon, grapes, strawberries, oranges, lemon without the peel, plums. And then coconut, flax seeds, and pumpkin seeds are also low oxalates. So there's a lot of things that we can choose if we're kind of just assessing whether we have issues with oxalates or not. The grains are millet and grains and lentils, red lentils, black-eyed peas, rice, and yellow split peas. Also oats. I don't recommend oats. I don't recommend a lot of grains, but oats, brown lentils, mung beans, garbanzos, and lima beans are on the moderate list. Again, check the list below, download it, and print it out. That way you'll have that at your disposal for just to understand it. The texts, that I've seen, and I will say to make sure that you're getting, a maximum of 40 to 60 milligrams total of oxalates in a day. To remove oxalates from your foods, you could boil or soak your seeds, your vegetables, and cooking also helps kind of reduce some of the oxalate load. So these are just really interesting facts that are hopefully helpful. And, we're going to do all the other things. We're going to do the, intermittent fasting. We're going to eat whole and complete. We're going to eat high protein. We're going to eat quality fats, low carbohydrates. And if you have, chronic issues, and especially with like chronic pain, inflammation, all those symptoms that we talked about before, those are some things that if you haven't been successful at reducing those, and a lot of times when you do, eat cleaner, you're focusing on maybe some chia seeds or, some of the high oxalate foods, the almond flour, especially if you're doing keto and you're avoiding grains, then you might unknowingly be kind of kicking up the oxalates in your system and, reducing your ability to fend off the oxalate toxicity. And who wants pain and suffering when you're trying to do the right thing? So I wanted to just kind of tee that up this week and give you that information so that maybe you could kind of be aware. Empowerment is what we're doing here, giving yourself the wisdom, the education, the awareness so that you can kind of arrive at a really safe place by way of your diet. What you eat matters. So I've been so enjoying this combination. I've got a new favorite. I have been loving this smoothie, and I am really not a smoothie or a shake gal. I mean, I usually eat my food, but I have been loving the Keto Chow and the Noble Protein. The Keto Chow is a milk isolate protein, and my very favorite flavor combination is this chocolate toffee and the Noble Protein, which this is the beef isolate protein with organs. And I mean, it's good on its own. Delicious with a glass of raw milk mixed in. You can make hot chocolate. You could mix it in with yogurt, you know, a Greek yogurt. If you don't do dairy, you can do a coconut yogurt. But the two of these together, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And I mean, the bonus is you get 26 grams of protein and 21 grams of protein. And so you mix these together, 47 grams of protein. Are you kidding me? And if I use some raw milk, that's another, you know, if I use a cup of raw milk and ice cubes, that's another 10 grams of protein. Seriously, it's a game changer. I have had stable blood sugar. I've lost a couple pounds, which I'm not intending to do, but it keeps me full, and I mean, it is delicious. So mixing these two together are a match made in heaven. I often typically have some meat with it. Maybe I'll do some chicken or a couple slices of salami, and or maybe I have a really hearty soup. Like today I had a chicken Mexican chowder. I'm gonna top off my feeding window with probably most of the match made in heaven shake. So give it a try. I have links down in the description box. These things are amazing if you maybe sometimes have bloat after using a protein powder, bloat and gas. I have a flat tummy. Other than, you know, trying to drink the whole thing, which is a lot of volume, I don't feel full, and I don't feel like I'm having trouble processing the protein powders. These are clean, they're super quality, and I really think you're gonna like it. Give it a try. If you're plagued with chronic problems and you just don't really understand what's going on, then we can take your blood work and do a lab evaluation. I have that special service that I offer, really looking deeply at your functional blood work. If that's something that maybe you're curious about, you can certainly email me or message me or leave a note in the comment section. You know, we do talk about those things in the Jumpstart session that gets you kind of teed up for Recipe for Success and motivates you to kind of just do better. I've got tons of videos here on this channel. Just giving you more information on how to diet successfully, how to lose fat, how to lose inflammation, how to build your health. And those are things that I'll just, you know, encourage you to go back, look at some of those old videos. If you haven't done an intermittent fast for a while, I think it's time to get going on that as a menopausal woman. If you haven't had your hormones checked, if you haven't had your blood work done, and if you're carrying extra weight, if you've got belly fat, if you have inflammation and pain, if you're not sleeping, all those things are key areas to look at and brush up on and get clarity so that you understand exactly what you need to do to be the best you possible, okay? Hope that's helpful. Leave me a comment in the comment section. Give me a like, and I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. On my website and in that drop-down window, the drop-down menu, I've got all of my favorite products that I use almost on the daily. Check those out. There's discount codes, and maybe you can incorporate one or two of those into your day-to-day and feel better as a result. All right, I hope that's helpful. We'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.